There should be no way on this big wet rock that a game could have me looking forward to and popping off for the revealing of characters that I know are gonna be in the game. And yet here I am clapping like a trained dolphin because Petra is wearing a headpiece. Fire Emblem Three Hopes has done the unconceivable and taken the same characters in the same setting in the same time period and has somehow gotten me to care as if I have never seen these things before. Which I am fully aware is because of the spectacle that was the second trailer. They did so many things right in that trailer that the left side of my body felt neglected. And one of those things they got right was showing off some of the new character designs for the non-leader units. I don't know about anyone else, but even though the first trailer showed new designs for our big three, I still didn't think about the idea of all the other students getting redesigned because the house leaders getting new designs makes sense even if no one else does because they are the poster children, they have privilege. Society. And yes, I'm aware they showed Hubert's new design, but for some reason I didn't think much of that either because it was less like he looked different and more like he felt different, you know? The type of difference that had my brain like, hey, does anyone else feel like Hubert looks fluffier for some reason? Just me? Well, that's reassuring. What I'm trying to say is that only in the second trailer did I realize how much I cared about seeing Marianne all of the students' new looks. There is no bias here. And now that I've seen them and can have opinions on them, I am fully equipped to judge them heavily on their drip evolution tree. Also, before we begin, just know that all my opinions and pronunciations of names are objectively fact, and disagreeing with said opinions or pronunciations means death. Yup. Blue Lion. Dimitri. I like that he likes fluff, because it works for him, and this particular fluff makes him look like a bird with a thick neck, which is extra points, because Honchkar energy. New hair is also cool, better than the fettuccine clip, and also just better overall design than the Academy design, but unfortunately not as good as Darth Dimitri, and honestly it was never going to be, so this line is good. Academy to Three Hopes to time skip. Very good. Even though his design feels like it changes very little, I gotta say, every difference in his design feels like the right choice. Kept the earring from the Academy design, scarf and pendant from the War design is there. I like the scars in the time skip, but it feels like the right decision to not have them here, even without factoring in the fact that the plot stuff that caused the scars hasn't happened to him yet. His hair got this cool braid along his temple that I really appreciate, and then they line my brother up with the faded beard, which officially makes this the best added beard in the game because the only competition is Claude, for some reason. Anyway, this is the type of drip evolution you want to see. Academy to time skip to Three Hopes, because it was the order that they were introduced in, and we like a constant upslope here. Very bueno. Mercedes. Honestly looks really good, but the least flavor of the three. It's really just her, but with the personality ripped out of it. Because her other designs are made in a way where I could show a random person a picture of her, and they would be like, oh, so she's the caring mother archetype that dies for the plot. Or, she's like the helpful and dependable church girl that everyone likes and trusts. And then we have the Three Hopes design, which is, in all honesty, the Wild West. Because you could probably guess that she looks sweet and kind, but you have no idea. That smile is warm and welcoming, but there is nothing behind those eyes, and she probably has killed people with that exact same smile on her face. You can't tell because there is no more personality, which sounds like me roasting the design. But Mercedes suffers from this problem where every design is so good that honestly ordering them is really hard, and is one of those things where if you ask me which is my favorite of the three on different days, I will have a different answer every day. So for now the line is time skip to Academy to Three Hopes. Strong line, very bien. I think that's how you say it. Aish. Garden Boy doesn't give me much to work with, mainly because it feels like he was made to pander to a type of person that is not me. So, you know, I got nothing here. Definitely gonna say this goes Academy to Three Hopes to time skip. He's cool, very much in the would let him babysit my cats if I'm on vacation tier of characters, so I like him, but I only really like the time skip design. Felix. Most of these characters' Three Hopes design look like a midpoint between their Academy and time skip version, and then you see the Felix line and get whiplash. How is the time skip design the one with the least amount of hair? Don't get me wrong, that's not illogical. I mean, they may be part of a time period before electricity bills, but I imagine a pair of scissors is real easy to find. Or maybe another sharp object of some kind. Who knows? But his Three Hopes design looks like an old wise sage that will literally see his student suplex a bear and be like, you are still not ready, my child. Because he's old and cool and knows things. He also kind of has the same thing Mercedes does because I like all his designs a good bit, but with the exception that his Academy version's hair looks cool, and the more I look at his uniform, the more I mentally deduct points off his drip score. So I think this one goes Academy to Three Hopes to time skip, but the time skip and Three Hopes versions could potentially be swapped depending on how I'm feeling on the day. Very yoi. I asked Google and that's it. Yoi is Japanese for good. I don't know if that, I don't know. And I cannot stress enough how impressive I think it is that this Annette design is better than her time skip. Academy Annette is just a jelly-filled donut of a human. The sweetest and most squishable person on the entire cast. And I mean squishable in a very she's soft and protectable and I want to own one and have one in my house at all times kind of way. Sounds really weird, but trust me, that's a good thing because now it can't get any worse. So adult Annette is the same squishable human personality-wise, but now looks very mature and refined with an understanding feeling of drip that I do not know how to quantify. She has jumped up the drip list tenfold but lost her built-in adorableness to get there, which makes sense because she's like 21, and I have no other way of describing how good that upgrade was. Definitely a really good time skip design and one of the best improvements from Academy version to the time skip version in the whole game. And then they fused them. Designs like this are the reason they decided to give these characters redesign. This is basically tenfold Drippanette with access to her squishableness, which I will not explain further, and instead will say Academy to time skip to 3 hopes. Very good. That's German, apparently. I don't know. I can't tell. I don't know why I'm doing. So fine. This is what happens to a character when the designers don't seem to care. Because Sylvain gotta be one of the biggest sufferers of mediocrity. All of his designs look the same with the exception of the Academy version because his hand is behind his head. And the fact that the big difference between any of these is that a new limb is in frame is painful. Sylvain as a character grew on me, but for the one who is supposed to be the pretty boy, flirtatious, playful type, very weak design. 3 hopes to time skip to Academy. Looks more like a commander unit like Ladislava or Randolph than one of the mainline students after a while. Very tragic. Ingrid, one of the better glow-ups in 3 houses, mainly because Academy Ingrid just didn't do it for me, and the time skip version has green highlights with her ribbons and undershirt, and overall just more my style than the glaringly basic Academy design. This new 3 hopes design, definitely good though, could be better than the time skip, but I think I like the little green bits and bobs on the time skip version. Academy to 3 hopes to time skip. Solid set. Black Eagles. Edelgard has a headpiece which is apparently extra points in my book, and said headpiece is not a pair of ram's horns, which, don't get me wrong, I like the horns and they look cool, but man do they make her look scary. She's wearing armor now, which is a new and welcome change in my book, because now when she is in an armor class, it will make visual sense rather than having me to assume that her big red dress is made of cold steel. Anyway, Edelgard with a cape and ponytail is very digestible, and that's about as verbal as I can make my feelings on it. Academy to 3 hopes to time skip. Very buona. Buona. I'm checking. Very buono. That's Italian, apparently. Hubbard. Conceptually, it has a pretty cool idea. Just make him look and sound like a villain. It's so simple and works too well. Fluffy Hubert is solid. I can say better than little baby Hubert, but not quite at Count Dracubert's level. So definitely gonna be Academy to 3 hopes to time skip for me. Not really much to say about him. He looks like how you would expect. Very solid. Dorothea. I really don't want to go on about this because Dorothea is definitely like a Mercedes where all her designs are her best designs type of deal. But man, that hat on the head of Academy Dorothea has now blue balled me twice. First time around I forgave it, and because time skip Dorothea looks great, and for her thing of becoming more elegant and polished, it makes sense that the funny little hat really couldn't stay around for the ride, and that is respectable. So I'll give her that. This time, I wanted to see something done with it. And even if they didn't think adding some type of beret to her design as the replacement for the OG hat wouldn't work, I still feel like her hairstyle should be more noticeably different from the time skip version because that's the fun part. Trust me, I know it's not the exact same, but similar enough for me to feel like potential was missed. Definitely still one of the best design characters in the game regardless, so it's not a big deal, but every time I see the 3 hopes version, I just wish for what could have been. Academy to 3 hopes to time skip. Very solid. Bernadette. This is one of the designs that got the fusion dance treatment and honestly goes up a lot of points for me simply for that. Because as much as I like seeing Bernadette finally look like a functioning member in society, I was very excited at the prospect of seeing said functioning member of society devolve back into the fumbling mess of a hermit she started out as. With the only difference this time being that she's actually trying to talk to people. I don't know, maybe I have a sore spot for the idea behind this design being the weird mid-phase where she's trying to not literally hide from the world, but she also has no idea how to do that. Academy to time skip to 3 hopes. Strong evolution tree. Very how. I have no idea what possessed me to try and say good in multiple languages. This is actually the worst idea I've had in ages, and I'm probably gonna keep doing it because I'm in too deep now. Ferdy bands. That is such a funny name. That jacket is doing it for me. Not gonna lie, I was so ready to be like, yeah, Ferdinand's hair just gets longer as time goes on. Welcome to life, am I right? And although that is still pretty true, the jacket has enhanced his drip to such a point where his hair is starting to look fire too. 3 hopes version is heat, his time skip version is sick, his Academy version exists, and also this is the Ferdy band. Mr. Von Iyer himself genuinely left this one more impressed than when I initially saw it, so well done to big man Ferdy band. Academy to time skip to 3 hopes. Very Huda. Still doing it, that was Dutch. Casper. Honestly saw a tweet saying Caspar took that trip down to Flavortown with an edit of Guy Fieri with Caspar's blue hair and scar on his head, and I could not agree more. Little side note though, instead of a sword on his hip, he has 2 gauntlets, and honestly could not be more raw. So it gets extra points, but I think I like my Caspar with the sides faded. Academy to 3 hopes to time skip. Alright line, damn near dripless if it weren't for the hip gauntlets though. Petra. There is simply no way her design is this good. A little bit of background on my reaction to this particular design. Before seeing the video, video, I thought that Bernadetta was gonna have the most interesting design change because of the whole fusion thing I described earlier. And when I saw Bernadetta, I was like, yeah, this is exactly what I was looking for. This is gonna be the highlight of the whole Black Eagle house. And I called it too. And then Petra showed up. And all of a sudden, the Black Eagles had a winner. I didn't even know this was a competition until Petra showed up. Her drip was so aggressively better than everyone else's that I could almost see her holding a trophy to a tournament that did not exist until she showed up. It may have sounded like a joke, but when I said I clapped like a trained dolphin because Petra had a headpiece, I was not joking. And I damn near gave her a standing ovation too. The craziest part though is that I still don't know how to rank her against the other designs because every version of her slaps in a different way, but to the same degree. In other words, this is the Mercedes standard, but like one tier up. I'll chalk this up to recency bias just to make this decision not take all day and say the order is Academy to Time Skip to Three Hopes. One of the best drip evolution lines, but unfortunately held back as a character because they made her only personality trait the fact that she can't speak English well. Anyway, good line. Very maganda. Lint. My favorite color is green. His whole color scheme is green. Honestly, pretty good design overall. He has some of the best dialogue in the entire game and solid drip with nothing to complain about. But all I got for you is that I like the way his hair is tied up in the Three Hopes version. And apparently he got drawn slightly different or something like that. I don't know, but he is very cool man. Academy to Time Skip to Three Hopes. If you've gone to this point in the video, you have activated my trap card, which technically means nothing to you. But this first half of the video you just watched was recorded on Thursday. In other words, a day before Marianne, the Golden Deer's new drip drops. Bard. But the title of this video is going to be This Series Has Peaked, and the thumbnail is going to be a picture of Marianne surrounded by a ray of light because of course it is. In other words, I'm banking very heavily on the Golden Deer having not just really good design, but the best overall, and specifically Marianne being the undeniable GOAT, which I know she will be because she is perfect and I do not see a timeline where they mess this up. I thought it would be funny to put this video's fate in the hands of Lady Luck and Father Time, so hopefully the result is as interesting in practice as it seems in my head. So since you have heard my master plan, just put in the comments, this video peaked in part 1 if you think the Golden Deer did not live up to the hype, or this video peaked in part 2 if you think the Golden Deer did live up to the hype. Alright, so this is the part where I pass it off to future me and hope to everything I love that they did not shave Marianne bald. Golden Deer. Woo, yeah! There is no bias. Cloud definitely has the Petra problem, which is what I'm calling it now, where all the designs are equally strong, with my one gripe being that Time Skip Claude has the thin jaw beard, which does not offend me deeply enough to change the fact that I like the design, but just makes me think, why? Of all students, the one person they decided to give a beard was Claude, when there are at least 3 other students who would have made way more sense for, like the one student who did end up getting one. So I do dock points for that, and the fact that they took the braid out of his hair, and the fact that his hair is a wee too slick back for me, but his drip is immaculate and he still looks great overall. So I'm not trying to say any of these things have me sitting here like, Claude, what did they do to you? However, it does serve the purpose of when I say Claude's Three Hopes design is a certified all slaps and no clapped, you know what I mean. And if you don't, then I'm sorry I suck at using the English language. I promise I'm not this dumb all the time. It just means the Three Hopes versions fix all the problems that I had with the time skip. I don't know why I tried to be clever. Academy to Time Skip to Three Hopes. Good line, very yeah. I like that one, rolls off the tongue. Heil Day. Been a solid silver medal holder in the race for best girl from day 1 to day however many in-game days it takes to get to the end. And if you ask me, part of that is because her first design is as good as it gets. Then all they did with the time skip design was do the exact same thing, but different. And by different, I mean her 2 ponytails are moved to the back. And by 2 ponytails moved to the back, I mean there are 2 humps at the top of her head that make it look like there are still 2 ponytails, but when you see her from behind, you'll notice that it is one really wide ponytail being held up by some type of headband. Nah, but that doesn't make sense, because how does it stay up? Maybe it was all tied into a ponytail? Nah, cause then how is it so wide? Simply put, I have no clue what's going on, but it's cool and I like it. What the Three Hopes design does is take the dual ponytail wielder and make her into a bun and single ponytail combo. Or maybe the ponytail is coming out of the bun? Does that count as a ponytail? Also, I have no clue what's going on, but it's cool and I like it. Definitely got the Petra problem, but I'll say Academy to Time Skip to Three Hopes. Great line, very bagoose. Repel! Why are these people so scared to give this man a beard? I need answers. Bandana is honestly a respectable touch because I thought this time skip hair was fine, but apparently the dancing monkey in my head where my brain is supposed to be really liked any form of headpiece, so I prefer the bandana. Though I do prefer the time skip design overall, I would like to make it very clear that I would pay good money to own a high quality do-rag that looked like this. Just throwing it out there. Academy to Three Hopes to time skip. alright line. Lysithea. Weird one for me because when I first saw Lysithea's time skip design, I didn't like it very much because she did not strike me as the type of person to like having so much going on. By that I mean she has these 2 hair accessories, both of which tie around her hair twice, meaning her hair is now in 3 parts. Those 2 accessories also have these cool tassels coming from them. She has this veil going down the back of her hair, or at least I'm going to call it a veil. I actually have no idea what this is. And then to top it off, she has a choker with a giant pendant attached. And apparently that pendant has a tie attached to it, which is very cool, and I only found it out while trying to make this video. So basically when I first saw this design, my initial thought was that it was too busy, for lack of a better word. And that just didn't feel like Lysithea to me. And although now I very much like the design, I will say that this 3 Hopes design is essentially what I wanted / expected from the time skip. So for now, Academy to time skip to 3 Hopes. The last 2 are very interchangeable, but the 3 Hopes has the shiny new thing buff, so it's on top for now. Solid line, very boom. A sensible person would have stopped doing this by now. Lorene! Saw this for the first time in the 2nd trailer. You know, it's Lauren's. There's nothing here that you wouldn't expect from Lauren's. Look better than Academy Lauren's, but again, it's Lauren's. Though I will say the cutscene he got made him look surprisingly cool, so more props to the design than I initially thought, but I will reiterate, it's Lauren's. Academy to 3 Hopes to time skip. Starts off very weak, but honestly, pretty good drip upgrade. Ignatz. I had to be reminded that Ignatz's whole story has to do with how he was being made to become a knight by his parents when what he really wanted to do was become an artist to really appreciate the design. It does the thing where it emphasizes this as an awkward middle stage between being very sure of who they are and what they want and being an unsure and confused child, which is very cool. But because that's the idea behind it, Ignatz is essentially meant to look out of place in the knight armor because he doesn't want to be a knight, he wants to be an artist. It's good though, just not as good as the time skip design, and the fact that his neck is covered by armor looks more uncomfortable the longer I stare at it. So, Academy to 3 Hopes to time skip. Respectable line. Marianne. Have you ever heard of complex carbs? Well, this is a complex W, let me explain. Completely new hairstyle? Check. Combination between depressed and scared little baby child and mostly depressed and kind of scared adult person? Check. Headpiece to appease the dancing monkey in my head? Check. But is the drip up to code? Bro, she's wearing a cardigan styled cape. Yes. Better than the Academy design? Almost definitely. Better than the time skip design? Check. And has now become the undisputed gold medal holder in the best girl race? It wasn't even close to begin with. Check. There is no bias. Just look at her. Every stitch on this fit is straight gas. How can you be the best character in the entire game and be the best looking character at the same time? There is no bias. I could not ask for more out of my favorite character because you may not know this, but I do not get W's like this very often. So when I do, I will act as if it is the best thing to happen to all of us, regardless of who your favorite character is. So when I say Marianne is the uncontested and undisputed best girl in this game, please do not argue with me. I am right. Let me have this. Academy, 2 time skip, 2 3 Hopes. Best line, very what? I forgot. Best line, very joyeux. How did good become 3 words? Leonard! I'm pretty sure we can all shake on this. There is just no way that we're gonna top Leonie's time skip design, right? Do we all agree? Because we should all agree. And I do not care how much you like or dislike her time skip design, we all agree it's much better than her first, and I am saying that as someone who really likes her Academy design. Other than her hair, it's like, why is it so sharp and pointy? And did they really feel the need to give her a reverse widow's peak? Anyway, I was not expecting to like Leonie's design all that much, but I was in fact pleasantly surprised when I saw it because her fit was good and they made her hair much more round, which does not sound like an upgrade in my head, but when you see it, yeah, definitely an upgrade. Academy to 3 Hopes to time skip. Very respectable line, almost worth me looking up another way to say good, but I will not. Yup, Ashen Wolves. So this is the part of the video where I was supposed to have recorded myself rating the Ashen Wolves' new designs without having seen their new design. Which makes sense, I promise. You see, no one knew for sure whether or not the Ashen Wolves were going to be in the game, so I had the idea of very boldly proclaiming that they would be in the game without a shadow of a doubt by recording myself saying they will be in the game and then doubling down on that guess by giving my opinion on the new design that may or may not potentially exist. However, while I was working on this part of the script, a new 3 Hopes trailer came out that had no association to the new character design trailers trailer that came before it. So there should be no problem with me watching this trailer, right? Apparently, I was wrong. So very, very wrong. So now I've seen the new designs, which means my entire plan is ruined. Or at least it would be if I hadn't anticipated my own failure a few days in advance and made a tweet saying my predictions in case I did something stupid and ruined the idea. Which is great because as it turns out, stupid is my default setting and I almost did ruin the plan for exactly that reason. Anyway, let's go through my predictions and see how right I definitely was. Yuri's new design will be good because it couldn't possibly get any worse. Okay, so I was right about one thing. It didn't get any worse. Still somehow not as good as I thought it could be because, I mean, look at his academy design and then look at both his adult design. Like, where did the color go? Where are the purple and whites? Where are all the cool chain strap buckle thingies? Where is the flavor? This is Yuri, for crying out loud. I was expecting something a bit flashier than a thick layer of clothes with a cape covered in dull grays and reds. Granted, I do think the 3 Hopes design is much better than the time skip, but still similar enough to make the monkey in my head stop dancing. Time skip to 3 Hopes to academy. Very missed potential. Balthus' new design will be bad because they don't know how to make him look good without the uniform on. Okay, I'll admit, I think I'm pretty wrong here because the 3 Hopes design has a much better direction than the time skip design. Wasn't really a big fan of Super Saiyan 4 Balthus, to be honest, so I'm glad they entirely neglected that direction, except for the hair. They really liked the hair. Speaking of hair though, do we all see that? Yup, that's right. The dancing monkey is getting excited. Now, I will be very honest though, Balthus and really all of the Ashen Wolves have the unfair advantage / disadvantage of starting the game in those Abyssian Academy uniforms because those things are actually too good. Like, actually too good. So good, in fact, that they basically don't allow for their time skip designs to be anything but perfect because anything other than that would be a downgrade, and in Balthus' case, that is painfully true. His 3 Hopes design is good. Open jacket look suits him well, headband is a good addition, got the chest donut with 4 seatbelts attached, and fluff. Fluff is always welcome in this house, but it just feels like a weaker version of his academy design in every way. The lesson here is that succeeding too hard is definitely a bad thing, and that is why I aim to fail. Time skip to 3 Hopes to academy. Very decent. I rate this a very started too strong out of 10. Constein's. Constance's will be good, but not as good as their time skip. When I made these predictions, I wanted at least one of these to be correct so I could feel good about myself, and this one was a gimme. Constance's time skip design is one of my favorites, not just improvement wise, but also just one of my favorite designs in the game, period. So I was very confident this one was just going to be an undeniable dub on the prediction front. I did not, however, consider the likelihood of the 3 Hopes design not being as good as the academy design. So, gonna hit myself with another half point there. This is supposed to be a gimme point, and here I am with a grand total of 2 half rights and a wrong. Perfect. Or at least that's what I was going to say because I was judging her design from the headshot rather than the entire fit. Because I just looked at the whole thing from top to bottom and this is actually straight heat. I will stand by it not being as good as the time skip, but definitely better than Academy. I would describe what I like about it in more detail, but I won't. And instead, I will tell you that this design is basically a reworked and refined version of the Gremory class, and taking something that is good and then stealing it and proceeding to act like it's original is a mindset that I can get behind. Academy to 3 Hopes to time skip. Very dobre. Hapai! Happies will be good because they can't possibly mess it up. Obviously, I was right about this because this is an unfumbleable bag. Honestly, they just couldn't mess this up, which is something I can say with confidence, seeing that they, in fact, did not mess it up. I'm very satisfied with what we got, even though I prefer when there was more clothy clothes with the scarf and whatnot. But this is a Warriors game, so having them look a little more battle ready with the shoulder armor and stuff makes sense. And I will also give props to the decision to make her cape into wing-like sleeves. And if they ain't sleeves, they should be. Either way, I don't have much to say here, because I was right, I like the design, and happy always make me very glad indeed, so no real complaints either. Academy to 3 Hopes to time skip. Very kalos. I don't even know how to sound Greek. That didn't even feel right. Alright, and that is it. I am finally done. You have no idea how long it took me to script all of this, so I'm just happy to never have to think about this again, other than while I'm editing it and when I upload it. But you know, I don't have to write words anymore, which is good because words are hard. Anyway, hope you all enjoyed and also did the right thing and agreed with all of my opinions, because remember, I am always right and anyone who disagrees is in fact very wrong. So I'm gonna go and play this demo finally and probably maybe record some stuff for it. Who knows? Alright, so bye.